Yo, yo, yo. It is that time again, familia. What is happening? Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. The only station giving you double the information and inspiration. If you don't know, well, now you do. You are tuning in and listening to The Connected Reloaded. And I am your host, CELOAFFECT, and we are in full effect. Please make sure to follow me and reach out on all social media platforms at CELOAFFECT, CELOAFFECT, for any questions on free advertisement, sponsorship, or to be a special guest on The Connected Reloaded. You can also email us at theconnectedreloaded@gmail.com. And we would love to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor with our new coffee shop proteins, I Shop Purium. Are you feeling the urge to run to your local cafe for a morning pick-me-up? Now there's a tastier, healthier option right in your kitchen. With our organic coffee shop protein line, it is full and packed with pure and premium ingredients that can power your body throughout the day. With these delicious protein flavors, they can be enjoyed any time of the day, by themselves or as a standalone, and also as a complement to any meal. Indulge in your favorite coffee shop staples like chai, coffee, and also matcha. So you can have a matcha latte, tall, or whatever it is right in the comfort of your own home. You feel what I'm saying? And please remember to use referral code CELOAFFECT for a huge discount on your first orders and future orders if you so choose to. We also specialize in detoxification of the gut. So if you're ready to feel what it's like to feel optimal and amazing and the best version of yourselves, then definitely tap in and tune in with us like we always say. So now we would love to get into today's topic, into our special guest. But before we do, this is a note to the wise and also a disclaimer. If you hear anything that piques your curiosity, remember, these are not medical advices, and please refer to your healthcare professionals for anything that you hear that piques your curiosity. These stories are only people's experiences and personal accounts to what it is that we talk about. So don't ever do anything on your own. Do not try this at home. Make sure to be gentle and pay attention to your body like always. Without any further ado, now let's get into today's topic. This is week 1, part 1 of Marc Coronel's story.
Under the vast umbrella that is CELOAFFECT LLC, we specialize in and have influence from music, consulting, coaching, to health and wellness being our main focus. Truly transform your lifestyle to experience the best version of yourself with our 30-day gut reset program. Visit www.celoaffect.com or ishoppurium.com. Use referral code CELOAFFECT for a $50 discount. Joining us in studio today is another amazing guest. I am truly honored and just grateful for this person to tap in and tune in with us here on The Connected Reloaded. He is an amazing human being, a straight up astonishing badass in his own right. He is a UCLA Kidney Health Ambassador, the co-host of the UCLA Core Kidney Program. He also has his own podcast called the Kidney Fighter Podcast. He's a kidney health and wellness coach, along with a motivational speaker and the creator and CEO of Lifestyle Athletics. Please give a round of applause. And without further ado, to my brother, my homie, Marc Coronel. Marc, what is up, my brother? How you doing today?
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Doing well, man. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on the Connected Reloaded, man.
Of course. You know how we do it. It's a constant educational and movement when we talk about helping people with kidney disease.
Absolutely. And you are no stranger to kidney disease yourself. You have been on dialysis and are now currently a post-kidney transplant recipient. So I have a few different questions for you before we get into, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of your story, man. I'm just happy for you to share a little piece of you here on the Connected Reloaded. So let's get into, I have the first question for you, brother. So you did hemodialysis. For how long did you do hemodialysis for?
A year and I think it was 4 months. A year and 4 months. A year and 3 months, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's long. That's enough time right there, man.
To understand what dialysis is for the human body, right? I mean, there's many people who've gone on dialysis for such a longer time, but I definitely have the experience to know what it really, really feels like, right?
Exactly, man. And dude, it's like, it's not a picnic, man. I don't wish that on anybody, man. So one thing I do want to know is, how did you get sick? Like, what exactly happened? What were you diagnosed with? And just like, tell us before you got sick and exactly what transpired.
All right. Well, so essentially what happened was I was an amateur boxer. I wanted to turn pro. I wanted to be a professional boxer, and literally just doing this every day, taking my protein shakes. And here's for me is my story started with doing that, but also putting things in my body that I didn't really know could affect it, right? I was drinking Red Bull, coffee, protein shakes, all these different things to put in my body, not realizing, didn't know what really would happen afterwards, right? I would just listen to my coaches and say, hey, you know what, coach, if you say it's good, then we're okay. And that happened since the age of like 14 to 26. And on my 26th birthday, I went to do a routine physical. And the doctor said, look, we're just going to do some blood labs. And I even came in there a bit confident. I was like, doc, you don't have to worry about it. I'm strong. I'm fit. I do my miles every day. I box all the time. You don't even have to worry about it. I don't even know why we're doing this. We're just going to do a routine physical. In 2 days, if I don't call you back, you're good to go. But if I do, we're going to have to come see you again. Okay, I said, great. She called me 2 days later and said, hey, we want to bring you back in because there are some of your labs are abnormal. And I said, okay. So I went back, think nothing of it. We're going to order a biopsy. We want you to come in. I did that, confirmed several days later. I was confirmed with FSGS. And FSGS is obviously a rare kidney disease, and it's essentially what it means is focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. Is that how you say it?
Sclerosis, yeah. That's basically a fancy way of saying scarring of the kidneys.
Yes, correct. Exactly. So I had scarring of the kidneys, and, it was a time in my life I thought I was going to die. I didn't think, I was like, oh my God, what is this? I looked it up, and essentially when someone says you have FSGS and they say that long name, what that meant to me was you're going to die soon. Right. And when you get that initial diagnosis, you go through 5 stages of an emotional roller coaster. Yeah. And doing my research, it's called DABDA. And DABDA means denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and I believe it's anxiety or acceptance. I'm sorry, it's acceptance. And, I went through those 5 different stages. First was depression. You're going through a lot, and then you go through these different circles in life, and that happened for 8 years. And through the process, I didn't feel nothing different. There was nothing really wrong with me because kidney disease is a silent disease. Number one, it doesn't show, and you don't feel anything till the end stage of renal disease, right?
Exactly.
And me being an athlete, I just thought, wow, I'm great. There's nothing really wrong with me. So it definitely had a double sword to it, which then led me to dialysis 8 years later. And how that happened was I went back home. We were actually going out. Me and my fiance were going on a date. I said, we have to go back home. I said, I don't feel good. And she brought me back home. I urinated and I fell to the floor.
Dang.
And what really happened at that point was FSGS had completely taken over my body. What that means to say is my body was completely, it had completely toxified itself from head to toe. So, you know, when you're diagnosed and you're at end-stage renal disease, you're always tired. You don't want to do anything. You're not motivated. You're always urinating. For me, I was urinating a lot, and my urine looked like a beer from a tap. You know, like when you're going to, it's like exactly. So it was something like that, and that was throughout the 8-year process of me going through kidney failure. But you know, through the process of me meeting with my nephrologist at the time, he said, "Look, if I ever see you again here in the ER, I'm going to put you on emergency dialysis. I'm going to put you on a catheter." So I knew that if I end up in the hospital at any time from the moment he said that, I was going to end up on dialysis. And sure enough, that's what happened. I wasn't ready for that. That was just something that was, you know, started to become a new part of my life. And when that happened, you know, it's like, oh my God, I'm now starting dialysis. And I remember and recall they gave me Benadryl. Man, I've never been so high in my life so quick. Benadryl is something that's very, very powerful, especially if they have it direct access to your bloodstream. You'll be pretty high. You'll be pretty, you know, you're actually essentially really, really high, right? So I did that. They stuck it in my port at first. The very first day, I was like, look, man, I'm really nervous. I don't know about this blood going in and out of my body. And it did. So that happened. And then for that year and a half, I was actually using social media to trying to get a kidney donor. And through the process, I had 33 people come forward by using Instagram, Facebook, and the news. And essentially people came forward, people were denied, and my donor came forward, and you know, she was a biological, she matched more than a biological sibling.
Wow. Wow. And who was your hero's name?
Her name is Shauna Robinson.
Wow.
And she used to work at the hospital. Trip out on this story. So she went to another hospital. She was denied because she had she was iron deficient. And the reason why she was iron deficient was because she was a vegetarian. They automatically denied her and said, well, you can't be a donor. So she went to another hospital and they said, we can donate this kidney. All you need is iron infusions. Sure enough, she went through the full process, and there was a date set. In the process of that happening, she also got a new job because she was a medical coder for this hospital that we did the transplant at UCLA Health, by the way. She was offered a job to be a medical coder overseas in Japan while also getting accepted for the kidney transplant donation. And through the process, the job calls her and says, hey, can you start next week or next month? And she had already set the schedule for the transplant. So she said, you know what? I'm giving a donation. My thing is I want to save someone's life first before I take on the job. Wow. Are you okay with that? And if not, I'll just look for another job. It was something in that nature. Yeah. Right. Or just to be clear, she asked them if they could wait. Yeah. Right. Can you wait for me because I need to recover from a kidney transplant? They agreed. 4 weeks later, she was on the plane to Japan.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even know that part of the story, bro. That right there, that's God's work right there, man. I love that.
Definitely. And here's one of the things that she told me when I was actually, when we were headed into to do this transplant. You know, this is literally 5 minutes before. She says, Mark, are you here? I said, yeah, I'm here. She says, no, are you here? I said, yes. I was like, why? Well, what's good? She's like, because look at how long it took us to get to this point. She said, and what I took from that is to always show up for myself and always be present. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yes.
When you have someone tell you that's going to change your life forever, being present became now my motivational factor to give my 100% every day, right? When people ask, well, where do you get your advice from? I said, I've learned lessons that only a dying man learns.
Ooh.
And a lot of people don't understand that because, when you're on dialysis, our only wish is to be healthy. While a healthy person has 1,000 wishes, we only have one.
100%, dude.
So we can try to sit here and talk about, oh yeah, I'm a health buff, and I know my health. Yeah, but once you get your health compromised, let me see if you got that same attitude. Because what I needed to start doing at that point, while I ended up on dialysis, was rebuild the foundation of now who Marc is. With my donor saying, show up for yourself. With my donor saying, live in the present. And always love yourself first.
And this is why he's a motivational speaker. You about to get me hyped up over here, man. I love that. This session, we are going to get to the second part of his story. So sit back, stay tuned, and listen to somebody that has changed, transformed, and turned their pain into purpose and passion. And this is a disclaimer for anybody that hears anything on the Connected Reloaded. This is not meant to replace any healthcare providers or healthcare professionals' guidance. This is only people's personal experiences and accounts expressing their stories. So if you feel that you want to try something out that we have talked about in any of our topics, make sure you run it by your healthcare professionals before attempting to try anything out on your own. And if you have any questions or would like advertisement, sponsorship, definitely reach out to us at theconnectedreloaded@gmail.com. Under the vast umbrella that is CELOAFFECT LLC, we specialize in and have influence from music, consulting, coaching, to health and wellness being our main focus. Truly transform your lifestyle to experience the best version of yourself with our 30-day gut reset program. Visit www.CELOAFFECT.com or iShopPurium.com. Use referral code CELOAFFECT for a $50 discount. It's an amazing story. It really is. For real, brother. So how do you feel now, man? For the people that don't know, just tap into him. Like, go to his Instagram page at The Kidney Fighter and look at the before and after pictures. Like, it's night and day. So how do you feel now, brother?
I feel amazing. So the energy now is really driven to give people hope. The goal is to be the beacon for the voiceless. When you ask how I feel great every day because we're helping one next patient have hope in their journey battling kidney disease. We're helping people find that they're not the only ones when they can just go into social media. Social media now has been 10 years ago, it wasn't the same as what it is now, where we can just Google something. Oh my God, we can't find any information. If you really want to ask me how I'm doing, I'm great, because here's what I appreciate the most. I can urinate. I wasn't able to urinate for 2 years. So when someone says, well, why are you so great? And I say I can urinate, they don't understand the backstory because a lot of people aren't understanding that kidneys, and they might not even know that I had a kidney transplant, that I can urinate. And when they say that, because it's so foreign to human nature, because that's just something we do in the morning, midday, and night. It's like breathing, right? It's just something that happens every day. So when you take that away from somebody, right? It's not like taking a house. It's not like taking your car. It's not like taking anything else. This is what makes you become the person you are post kidney transplant, right? And to be able to hone in on, and this is what they say, what success can't show you, rock bottom can.
Yeah.
I had to learn on dialysis what I was going to be like after dialysis. Does that make sense?
That's deep.
So, and that's exactly what I did, brother, is that I learned. I said, look, the same place that gave me a transplant, I'm going to go harder than the other people who are working there as a full-time gig, talking about I hate my job, yet I'm here trying to do it for free.
Whew. Hey,
You feel me what I'm saying?
100%, man. You are one of the main people that I know that has truly put their pain, has transformed their pain and made it into their purpose. For real.
Right. Because a test becomes a testimony. You know what I'm saying? And the things that happen in your life is either a blessing or a lesson, right?
Yeah.
They say hope is not a strategy, fear is not a factor, and no is not an option. And let me break that down for you a little bit. Hope is what woke me up, but it wasn't my strategy to get a kidney. Failure wasn't an option because I was not going to take a no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And fear is not a factor because I will be shut down in life and I will get a yes. So with that in mind, I wanted to make sure that I knew that going through this kidney journey, that at this point, no one will ever look at me again the same way that they did while I was sick and ask me, how's your health doing? Because you see me doing 50 push-ups. You see me doing 200 sit-ups. I'm here for the end game, not to impress anybody else, because they were able to ask me, and I know that they were asking me genuinely from their heart, how's your health doing? But one thing that really stuck with me is the way people looked at me as a person who was sick.
Yeah.
You know? And that look is something that I never get now. But it really, I wouldn't say haunt me, but it does give me purpose on why I drive my mental, physical, and well-being to that highest level and extent.
Does
that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, man.
When we talk about, oh my God, I got haters and no, man, those are insecurities that you believe people are always talking about you. And if they are, great, you're doing something good. But what that also means is stop worrying about everybody else and worry about you, right? Because at a movie theater, not everyone's going to be able to sit at the front row. You only got 5 seats. Who are you going to put up there?
Yeah. Who are you going to put up there, man? That
you know
look.
What I'm saying? So, yeah, that look, I mean, a lot of these things play into factor, right? Like, here's an example. Friendship. I thought a couple of my friends would be there while I was on dialysis and even post-kidney transplant. I'm talking about 15, 20 years of friendship. Nothing. So you know what that made me do? That made me realize, you know what? I can lose a 20-year relationship, bruh.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, it's nothing. I'm already fighting this alone in my real life. Let me get up to where I need to be, and I will X you out as quick as you X'd me out while I was sick.
Yeah.
You know, we tend to forget that, you know, people are there when everything is good, but your real friends show up when everything is bad.
Everything is bad. And that right there, that mentality makes you unstoppable. It makes you literally limitless. And it does show you who your true friends are, man. Everything you're saying, brother, I can relate to that 100%. The look, right. I've gotten that look so many times in my life that, you know, it makes you feel a certain type of way, man. And I completely get it. I completely get the fire and the drive. And yeah, man, keep shining, brother. You are a straight up shooting star out here in these streets, man. I love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Every day we have something called a seed that's planted the moment we wake up. You are considered the weather. And what that weather is the soil, the water, and the sun. That's why they refer it to as the mind, body, and soul. If you're not constantly working that, then what are you doing?
Then what are you doing?
You know what I'm saying? It's like that seed gets planted, and every day at the end of the day, that root becomes that tree, that branch that flower, that rose, whatever it is, but you have to nurture it. Your temple is that sun, right? Mm-hmm. Your well-being, your breathing, that's the water and air that you're feeding this seed.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that soil is your feet on the ground as it walks and it paces through everybody. Right?
Yes.
And yeah, man. So yeah, man, that's just a little bit about my journey. Sorry, I go through this this metaphors of like journeys with a patient and what it's like to fight for your life and X, Y, and Z, but it's all relevant. It's like an EKG. It goes up and down. And once that thing goes flatline, that means you're done. And if you can relate that and correlate that to life, you'll have an understanding that in the journey of life, there's going to be 100% ups and downs.
Peaks and valleys. And this is coming from somebody that has lived it. Like Marc is someone that us both, we've been through the trenches. You know what I mean? We've been there and we're making something out of it. We're not just playing the victim role. You know, we're actually doing something about it.
Victim is don't ever call me a victim, man. I'm a victor, brother.
You're straight up. Man. You are straight up victor, man. And for 100%. And everything that you're talking about.
Here's what I want to tell you too, man. When you mention that peaks and valleys, right? Look at how an EKG looks like. The peaks and the valleys. Yeah. The peaks and the valleys. Sometime it'll be cool, and that EKG goes like, you know, the high point isn't as big sometimes, but you're gonna go through that on your day-to-day basis. Once that EKG flatlines, there's when everything rests, right? That's why when it's always a flat line, that's why we have a born date and an end date, and that middle flat line is what you are going to do in your life. Period. Mm-hmm. The born date and the end date, what are you going to do in that middle line when they put you to rest? And that's what I think about constantly every day is like, I want to be the kidney fighter, the kidney fighter, that resilient grit, never giving up, and wake up every day with purpose, right? Because we have to find out what we live for. Because the moment you let that go, it's like, what are you doing?
Exactly, my brother. I love everything you talking about right now, dude. We might have to do a part 2, part 3, part 4 because I love it. And people need this type of energy. They need this inspiration, man. Because I get, just like I know you do, we get messages upon messages of people always just sharing how everything is wrong in their life and how their life is, they have no control. It's all chaotic. But until we take a stand for our own well-being and take responsibility and accountability for ourselves, ain't nothing ever gonna change. So I commend everything that you're doing, brother. And you definitely are not a victim, a straight up victor over here. And I love that. So tell me what are some things that you doing, because you are a UCLA ambassador. What are some projects that you're working on as far as, because I see you doing the damn thing, man. So just what are some new endeavors that you're working on with y'all over there?
I mean, where do I start? Underprivileged, underserved people of color. That is a very, very big issue. I think an American, Hispanic, Asian, people of color, all down the board. I think we are underrepresented. I think we have lack of education towards the healthcare system. I think we don't have access like we think we do. Yeah. And we need to raise awareness to that. And that's what initiative we're doing. But in all essence, and when we look around and we look at a dialysis clinic, we look at people who have kidney failure, diabetes, and high blood pressure, it's people of color. Yeah. So raising awareness to people of color, and where you can look at someone else and say, that person looks like me, I can relate. It's essentially vital, to get the information, because, if we break down the rooted problem, a lot of the things that we don't know is stemmed from generations and generations on in, right? Like, there was a person I was talking to, one of the students I work with. I also have a inner city at-risk youth program, and they told me that what is this? Frosted Flakes was their breakfast, and this is healthy to them. They consider that healthy.
Not at all.
And right, but this was through generational, the generations of families, right? Where they said, well, this is healthy for you. This will be your breakfast. Go ahead and go about, you know, which is wrong, right? Because they don't know the difference because they're only taught one way. What we know might not be what they know, even though we live in the same block radius.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like their accessibility might be as savvy as I am because I live with kidney disease, right? And I have to do my homework on that, right? So for me, being on there is to be the voice of the voiceless, to be the hope where there is none. They say it's the dark, not the lightness, that most frightens us. Right? It's the dark, not the light, that most frightens us. And a lot of people are comfortable in the dark, but I'm already in the light, and I'm trying to tell these people is like, look, come out over here. I'm gonna tell you because my valleys and peaks look crazy. I've been through a hurricane, an earthquake, a fire, and you threw me for dead, right? I got out of it because I started to educate myself, and it's all about education. But even through education, we're not 100% confirmed on we're not 100% confirmed of the actual truth.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we just got to live our own truth. We got to go with our gut feeling. We got to go with. It was a really interesting conversation I had with one of my clients yesterday. I said, which do you trust more, your logic or your gut? This is a very successful man. He said, for me, it's like 60-40, maybe 55-40 something. But I use my gut first, and my logic is what gives the approval from my gut. And I said, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because people are always saying, well, go with your gut feeling, go with your gut feeling, go with your gut feeling. Yeah, but what if I dislike the person or I dislike the situation? And it would ruin everything else because my gut feeling is saying X this, right? Yeah. So you got to step back and go through your logic and saying, well, long term, will this affect me even harder?
Yeah. You have tools. The body has these tools, and when we can actually feel them out and tap into them, like the logic, the gut intuition, and also your heart. They've come out and they found out that there's an actual brain in the heart. Right. So again, 100%. That honestly is intelligence at its finest. So tapping into that, man. Right. Dude, I know you could keep going. I know you can keep going on with the UCLA because you guys are doing some amazing things on your end for sure. I know every week you guys do like a live or where can people find you if they want to tap in and find more information on this?
UCLA Core Kidney Health Program, again, that is all from the nephrology standpoint, right? All on the kidney aspect of it. If people want to know more about their health care, please come visit us. We're all here to help. I'm an ambassador. Ambassadors are just people who share the information that needs to be told to the people. I go hard on that. I'm the lead on that. And because underprivileged and people of color don't have access to things, and I want to share that voice and be that person to help people out.
And just, we're about to wrap up here in a little bit, but I have one more question. So definitely tune in to Marc Coronel and follow him on all social media platforms. I'm gonna let him plug that in here in a minute. But there's something that he's been working on, an amazing project that I was just checking it out earlier today. And it is a series on YouTube called Relentless Ones. Bro, please tell my audience a little bit about this series, what it's about, and I love the actual visual of it, man. You're doing so many amazing things, brother, and I love to be able to collaborate with you. So tell us a little bit about this series.
All right, so my boy Rick Kosick actually approached me. He was actually one of the DPs for Jackass, and he was like, "Hey, Mark, I want to do a a series called Relentless Ones. And what we're doing is telling people's story on their actual struggles, being relentless.
Yeah.
Right? Like being that, look, no problem, no issue stopping me to continue to keep going and being the best version of myself. Right? And he really asked me, Mark, I'm going to direct this, but you just be yourself. And that's exactly what I did. And he was able to catch the visuals on that. And it's an 8-part series where he talks to different people on their struggles on the come up, right? Yeah. And it's amazing because it gives people hope, you know, it gives people an understanding of what other people really go through the lens and visuals and ideas of Rick Kosick.
If you guys have not tapped in and seen this series, definitely go Google, YouTube, Relentless Ones on YouTube. And I'm telling you, just sit back, get some popcorn, some organic, non-GMO popcorn. and just vibe out, man. And if you want some daily motivation, inspiration, and to tap in with this tycoon, this is I'm telling you, this is a man you want to have in your corner, for real. Marc Coronel, my brother, I appreciate you with all of my heart for doing this. You know how you and me vibe and we rock out together. So before we head out, where can these beautiful savages, these people, follow you and find you and reach out to you if they have any questions?
On Instagram and Marc Coronel, M-A-R-C, last name C-O-R-O-N-E-L. On Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn under the same name. You know, I'm one phone call away. Look at those and DM me, send me a message, tell me your struggles, and let's get through this together.
Let's get through this together. So I love this conversation and this topic that we were just discussing. Honestly, it's turning your pain into purpose and finding your passions in life.
Right, exactly. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out. Thank everyone for tuning in. Remember, you could catch us every Friday at 9:30 a.m. here on WDRB Media. A big shout out to iTunes, iHeartRadio, Streamer, and definitely tap in with us. You have been listening to The Connected Reloaded, and I am your host, CELOAFFECT, and we are in full effect on WDRB Media, the voice of the community, for double the information and inspiration. Until next week, mi gente, much love and continue to be blessed.